Say that you're in a fairly new relationship, and things start. Say that he wants to or she wants to try to hold you back from going out with your friends, or wants you to post less or wear more clothing or things like that. I mean, these are simple things that people are up against. Mm-hmm. Do you think that's... How do you feel about that? Tell me about that.
I think it all depends on people's intention and what's going on.
Okay.
Right? Like, one red flag, for example, is someone who's going to go to you and say, like, I need you in my life. I can't live without you.
That's a big red flag.
That's a red flag.
Yeah.
Because you need to be strong within yourself, and I'm in addition to you.
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
I'm helping to make things
better,
but I don't want to be that missing puzzle link. Like, there's that thing about, you're the missing link, you're that puzzle piece that's always been missing.
That's been an old-fashioned thing, like the missing piece. You think that's the wrong way to approach it? I do too. I do too. I think you need to be whole.
Yes.
And find someone else that's whole, just like you're saying, mm-hmm. and complete one another, right? But you're not necessarily because you're missing something. Right. So, yeah.
So that would be one. Jealousy. High insecurity, someone who's very insecure.
Big red flag there?
It's a big red flag.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, we all have a certain level of insecurity.
Sure.
All of us do. But when it's so much that you're using it to manipulate.
I've heard that a few times recently, actually.
That's a red flag.
The manipulation?
The manipulation. Like, oh my gosh, you're going out and you're going to meet all these girls and I'm going to be here all by myself and oh, I can't believe you're going out and leaving me here.
Wow.
Like,
go ahead, because
I was just thinking, because manipulating someone in that way, it seems like a very emotionally intelligent thing to do. At the same time, it shows an astounding lack of emotional intelligence. So, I don't know, I'm wondering about that.
I don't know if it's an emotionally intelligent. I think it's intelligent, but maybe not so emotionally.
Yeah, it doesn't seem emotionally intelligent.
No.
But, I mean...
And if I have a boyfriend and I say to him, I really don't want you going out because, I think that you're going to cheat on me. That says more about me than it does about him. And if you think that your guy can't go out with his friends and not cheat on you, you don't need to be with him.
Sure. Mm-hmm. Pretty simple. So, yeah, I mean, I'm on board with everything that you're saying. And I mean, it's so easy for a couple single people to sit here and say things like this because it's almost like common sense as soon as you get out of it. But when you're emotionally intertwined with someone, the blinders are on sometimes, right? Like, everybody can be telling you that this is no good for you. And all it takes is that little thing of manipulation or whatever, and you're right back in where you started.
But you got to take it slow. You can't rush relationships. I think earlier in the podcast you were talking about how people get in a relationship in the fall and then it all breaks up or whatever.
Yeah, kind of, yeah.
I honestly believe it takes about 6 months for the real person to come through.
6 months for the... So
I think about 6 months because you meet someone, everyone's on their best behavior.
Sure.
Right?
So is it a red flag within the first 6 months though if there's trouble?
You gotta look at that because everyone's putting their best foot forward
in the first 6 months. Yeah, right? That's supposed to be the honeymoon period, right?
It's supposed to be where everything is wonderful and we never fight and blah blah blah.
Right.
Blah, blah, right.
So 6 months is where, and if you and I were dating, just hypothetically, I always like to talk to the person as though we're in the situation. 6 months goes by. Now, some of the things that maybe I found cute are now sort of starting to annoy me, and that's how it happens, right? Right. So in that situation, what are you okay with when the blinders are on in the honeymoon phase? What is okay to overlook and what isn't?
It depends on the people involved.
I guess you're right.
It depends on the people involved, but take your time. Like everybody's in love in 2-3 months. Everyone's in love. I love him. It's never been so great. Blah blah blah.
Yeah.
Take your time. Just take your time. If after 6 months, a year, you're still feeling you're in love and you can work things out, and the big test is when you have an argument.
Okay.
How do you argue? Like, do you argue fair?
Or do you hit below the belt? Yeah, I've had a few of those relationships.
What I mean? Because that's when the true person comes out.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? If we're in an argument and you're going to tell me that I'm this, that, and the other, and then afterwards you're going to buy me flowers and say, oh, I'm so sorry. It's like, red flag for me.
Yeah, the damage is already done, and that's going to continue to surface.
There's a way to disagree,
Mm-hmm.
And there's a way for us to work things out without yelling, screaming, carrying on.
Especially if there's kids involved.
Especially if there's kids involved.
Right.
You wanna show them how to argue, essentially. How to have a disagreement.
Right.
Right. And I know it's easier said than done, because I mean, when you're in the situation and things are heated, I get it.
Yeah.
But it's all about respecting the person that you're talking to,
mm-hmm.
right?
That's a skill. Like, a lot of people don't realize, and I mean, I haven't mastered it by any means. I'll still blow up on people from time to time.
Mm-hmm.
But arguing with people and properly presenting your point is a skill that really should be developed, and is probably lacking these days. Yeah. Go ahead, Vinny.
I was also going to say, too, I mean, we were talking about the 6-month thing and people that you love and stuff like that. And I was just wondering, like, do you think that a lot of that goes back to what you think your definition of love is, too? Because I feel like that's really something that a lot of people don't quite have a strong grasp of. I'm in love, right? And it gets tossed around, like, very easily.
There's lots of differences between infatuation and lust. And
I think it takes a lot of emotional intelligence too to be able to tell, like, is this love or am I just like...
What quadrant are you speaking from, Vince?
I don't know.
I was doing some Facebook Lives for a little while.
Yeah.
And in one of them, I was talking to a girl had messaged me about relationships and stuff like that. And similar conversation to what we're having here.
Mm-hmm.
And I said to them, don't have sex.
Don't have sex.
Don't have sex. Because what happens when you have sex, all of a sudden, you're in love. Yeah. Right? And especially if the sex is like, blows your mind.
You can get addicted to that sex. What? Sure. You can fall in love with the sex.
You know what I mean?
Well, just biologically, too. I mean,
I know.
You're chemical reaction.
Someone. I mean,
100%.
When you are having sex with someone, that is the most intimate thing that you can do with somebody.
Yeah, sure.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so save it for a little while and just kind of test the waters. Because there's not, in all honesty, there's nothing worse than being in a relationship, having sex with someone, and then it ends.
Yeah.
It's like, oh.
What about people?
That was good.
Yeah.
Oh my god, that does sound bad.
That does sound bad. Yeah. What about people that? Okay, so we're talking about this is the most like connecting thing you can do with a person, right?
Mm-hmm.
On a physical level, anyway.
Especially for a woman.
Especially for a woman.
Mm-hmm.
So what about nowadays? These women. Let's talk about female empowerment because that's what we're here for today.
Mm-hmm.
With it, so would you say that it's empowering that women are now going out, sharing themselves and their bodies with different men? They're giving away this connection,
mm-hmm.
like it's nothing, and some people would define that as empowering because we're breaking stigmas and a man can be a stud but a woman's a slut kind of thing, right? So is that empowerment or is that just lack of self-awareness when it comes to how to connect with people? What do you think that is?
Again,
that's a pretty complicated question.
It is, and I think it's individually based. But at the same time, it's like there's two things in life that are extremely valuable.
Yeah.
One is time, because you can't get it back.
Right.
Right? Once it's gone, it's gone.
Yes.
And one is your body.
Yeah.
You are extremely valuable.
Yeah.
Why am I going to give the most valuable asset I have to Tom, Dick, and Harry?
That's true.
Why?
I don't know. What did Tom, Dick, and Harry do to deserve my temple?
Thank
Tom,
you.
Dick,
yeah.
Thank you.
Fuck Tom, Dick, and Harry. You guys don't get my temple anymore.
Save yourself. And I'm like, not everybody's going to save themselves to marriage, right?
Sure, I understand.
And I understand that. I'm realistic. We live in this world. I get it. But at the same time, that doesn't mean that after knowing someone for a week, 2 weeks, you just had a few good dates, you're going to sleep with them. You don't know this person.
Right, that's true.
You don't know this person. They are presenting to you what they want you to see.
Sure.
So just give it some time.
But at the same time, right, it's all about, at the end of the day...
Wrong time to start talking.
At the end of the day, it's how, as a woman, how you feel about yourself, right? Because if you're going on a date with someone, and then you're feeling pressured because you like that person... basically to eventually sleep with them sooner.
I don't know you ever want to sleep with someone under pressure.
No, but I mean, I feel like some women do, though. Men might not think about that, right? But some women, they would do it sooner with someone because they like a person.
And they're afraid he might not stick around if they don't.
Sometimes I've heard some of my friends say that.
Yeah.
So
it's a valid fear, but like, I don't know if that's necessarily what you want to act on.
Yeah.
Absolutely, you shouldn't act on that. But if you're just doing that because you want to, because you feel good about in the moment, because you feel like that's a good moment and you're not regretting it after, I don't see what's wrong with it.
And that's the question I'd have. How are you feeling afterwards? What's the message you're telling yourself afterwards? Like, if this guy, if you sleep with him and he never calls you again, how does that make you feel? If you could care less, okay, fine. But if you're telling yourself, oh, you know, I must have done something wrong, or I'm this or I'm that, then...
And I have a question to you. Who said I want him to call me back?
Oh, zinger!
Well, I was just gonna say, like, obviously this is from a guy's perspective, but like, I feel like
it's legal.
Yeah, legal. But I feel like there's different kinds of people, and part of that comes from nature, and some of it comes from nurture, right?
Yep.
But like, I know I have guy friends that like are perfectly happy with one night stands and can do them and do not give a damn.
Sure.
Right? I'm not like that. I've done it before, but like, I feel bad afterwards, right? I can't do it. I don't like it.
I don't think you're giving yourself the opportunity to really reach your max performance and have a great connection either. I think that until you kind of get to know each other and break down some of those walls, how can you really have the best sex with that individual? Sometimes it just clicks, but more often than not, it doesn't. And you're going to have better sex if you just give it a few tries, and unless you know it's wrong right away. In that case, obviously, break it off. But anyway, anything else you want to add to our conversation here? We could chat about this for forever. Yeah, this is a big topic, so we should probably cut it off for this evening. But is there anything else you want to add? What is the message that you want to share with women today on International Women's Day? I think you've done a great job of sharing. Everybody has, by the way. Of sharing, simple things that maybe people are overlooking in their relationship, and just how to be better people. So, anything else that you want to say? Big message?
Well, the hashtag for International Women's Day is Be Bold for Change.
Okay, right? I like that.
And so, I was saying to you earlier that 100 years ago, we weren't even considered people.
Right.
We were owned by our husbands, and we couldn't get an education. Now we can. And what I would love to see 100 years from now is that it's not abnormal for a woman to be prime minister.
Right.
Or for women to be the CEOs of huge conglomerates.
Sure.
It's not an abnormal thing. It's just an everyday thing.
So we still have some hurdles to overcome.
We still have some hurdles to come. Men and women are not the same. We are physically different.
Yep.
Right? And we're not the same. But we do deserve to have equal opportunity.
I agree.
Right? And that's the fight that we have to keep fighting.
Sure, and I'm on your side with that. Like I said, I mean, I think that it's always been considered a man's world, quote unquote, and I don't think the world's in the best possible standing at the moment. So I'd much welcome the opportunity for it to become a woman's world and see what happens from there. So
I would say, wouldn't it be great if we could work together?
Mm-hmm. Sure, yes. Sure.
And because men have certain strengths, women have certain strengths, and if we put it together, what could we do? Okay. What could we accomplish?
So how do we get there? I mean, maybe that's something for a whole other show.
I think so.
But anyway, thank you so much for coming,
thank
Jennifer Slay. If you guys want to reach her, I'll put all her contact info on her social media, but maybe we can get you some clients out of this. I mean, we'll see what happens.
Thank you.
If not, come and support her charitable events, albeit a lot of them as well. So thank you to Vinny Chase, as always. Little Miss Chris, thank you for joining us. And Legal, thank you for your input tonight.
You're gonna get sued one day. I'll be there. I'll be there to fight it.
When I get sued? Yes. Yeah, okay. Well, when that day comes, I've got good protection, obviously. She's not afraid to hit it and quit it. So, on that note, guys, thanks for tuning in to this week's Woman Crush Wednesday. And we've got a really big show for you guys in the weekend. Spenny will be joining us from Kenny vs. Spenny, as well as Tony Lee, the X-rated hypnotist. Also 2015 Canadian Hall of Fame award winner. So that's going to be a fun one, totally different, all mostly about sex and lots of profanity. So that one will be more fun. We'll see you Sunday at 10 p.m. Eastern, okay? Thanks, guys.